Buongiorno, benvenuti to Bella Lingua. I'm going to be talking to you about the continuous improvement processes at Bella Lingua and how we're going to go about implementing this short training video, the short training program based on the continuous improvement processes. So firstly, we have a problem. We cannot employ teachers that are fully trained, experienced, because no one wants to work that time. So we do have a viable problem that we need to fix. And the way we're going to fix this is by using the continuous improvement processes. Now, we need to follow some steps within this method. So firstly, the idea stage. The first, how do we come up with ideas? What do? We're going to come together as a group. We're going to bring all the staff together and we're going to present the problem. And we're going to brainstorm all our ideas on a whiteboard, on butcher paper, grab some pens out, and we may even just talk and give ideas and brainstorm and just talk about it. So the more we talk about it and the more we talk about the problem that we're facing, maybe we can come up with some amazing and brilliant ideas to implement or to fix this problem. Secondly, once we've got an idea of how we're going to tackle this, we're then going to write up a business case about it. So we need to look at the cost to see how much it's going to outlay in cost, because we need to be practical. The business still needs to be running and making profit, and we need to have a look at the return. So is it really worth what we're going to put into it, and are we going to get that return down the track? So and then we're also going to look at the risks involved. So what are the kind of risks that could happen if we go ahead with this new idea? And then once we've looked at all that and we've decided, you know what, we think this could work, let's bring it to a decision, a joint decision. We're then going to contact the stakeholders and we're going to bring it forward to them, and we're going to explain to them, look, this is what we've come up with, these are the ideas, why, what do you think? Now, every single stakeholder does need to agree. If none of them agree, then unfortunately we won't be able to go ahead. We're going to have to go back, look at our idea, have a look at the business case. Maybe there's something in there that the stakeholders didn't agree with, and then represent it. Once we get the okay with every stakeholder and they're happy to go ahead and move forward with this, then we start the planning stage. And the planning stage is to map out exactly how we're going to follow on with this idea. So what are we going to do? What are the steps we're going to take to actually bring this to fruition and actually make it happen? And the way we're going to do this, we're going to sit together with the staff. We're going to map out exactly everything that we need to do in order to make this idea happen. We're going to come together, get butcher paper, get pens, discuss it, see who is actually going to do certain jobs and who's responsible for particular jobs. For example, the photocopying or the writing up of the charts or whatever we decide to do. You know, we all need to come together and decide exactly how it's all going to be mapped out. Once we've looked at this, and we've all gone over it and thought, you know what, could this really work? We then need to go to mission control. And it's at mission control where we then go back to the stakeholders. We present what we have and we say, you know what, this is what we've got to do. This is how we're going to do it. These are the steps we're going to take. But not only that, this is exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. And we're going to allocate certain tasks to people. So for example, if we were to decide to do a workshop to train new teachers, and native Italian teachers. We are then going to decide who's going to run the workshop, what are the hours, who's going to do the photocopying, the worksheets, the drama activities, whatever we decide to bring it on. And it's in this workshop it's in this planning, it's in this mission control stage that we present the whole plan to them. This is where they then look at it again and they decide, you know what, is this still going to work? Are we really going to get a return on this? Are we going to, is this actually really going to work? Especially if it's costing a little bit of money, we need to make sure that we're going to get that return back. Not just getting the money back, but also making more of a profit and getting more customers, more enrollments. Once everybody agrees, and again I must reiterate that everyone in this stage at mission control is that we must all agree. If there is one person that does not agree and that thinks, for example, it's costing too much, or we're using too much paper and we're not that kind of business, we like to use recyclables, and then that's something we need to go back to the planning stage, go back and check what is it about this stage that mission control or the stakeholders have decided, no, this isn't going to work. Once we go back and review everything again, that's when we bring it back to mission control and bring it forward to them again. And once they all agree, which I'm pretty sure they will, because it's such a great idea, once they all do, we could then go into post-implementation review after that. So this is where we have the plan, the go ahead is all great, and we then actually implement it. We give it about a term. So we implement the workshops and everything we're going to do. We then actually see the teachers use our method and see if it works. We do need to meet up with the teachers on a weekly basis just to see how it's all going, if there's any feedback, if there's anything that they need to change, if any of our methods actually is working or if it's not, if the children are engaged or not. And then this is where we then look at the post-implementation review, is after we've done the whole Bella Lingua teaching method. Once we've done all that and used it for a whole term, we then look back and we say, okay, what were some of the problems we came across? Did we meet our key milestones? Did we actually make sure that the kids are learning? Did we find that the kids were disengaged at any point or not? By the end of the term, did they actually use the language? Did they understand what they were writing and reading? Did they actually use it in a, in the performance at the end, or in a informal testing, like a mock interview with them? And this is where the review is very, very thorough to see if it does actually work. And if it does, then we should see the results coming in either through more enrollments, more word of mouth, more people talking about it and bringing it on. So yeah, it's definitely a very good method to continuously improve our program, and the reason why we do it is so that we can actually make sure we know and we're meeting what our customers' needs are, and we're meeting their needs. So yeah, and you need to continuously improve our processes, because we need to keep moving on as a business, otherwise you stay stale and it's not successful. Thank you very much for listening. and hopefully we shall speak again soon. Arrivederci e ciao.